My name is Barbara Schwarck, and I'm the owner of Clear Intentions. We are a people development company. And about 5 years ago, I decided to blend traditional coaching with something called NET. And I did so because I felt like it was important for people to get instant results. What NET does, it actually gets you in line with all parts of the brain. It's a technology and a methodology that just assists you in finding out where you're out of alignment and what do you need to do in order to get aligned. And so that you can create a new platform for yourself and then be successful with your goals. Why it works so beautiful with coaching, because coaching is all about fulfillment, asking questions, championing, appreciative inquiry. And so it does all that over here in the language end. And then, NET looks at, am I aligned, or what I like to call congruent, with my goals? Wow, you have those two together, it's a match made in heaven. A lot of us, we like to do a lot of things, and then our energies go in all these different directions. And so at the end of the day, we haven't really moved anything forward because we've been too scattered. Those are things that everybody deals with, whether you're in business for yourself, whether you're working for corporations, whether you're trying to improve as an individual. So it doesn't really matter. Those are things, because we're human beings, that pertain to all those areas in our lives. So it's like there's something inside of ourselves that stops us from changing. How many of you have ever tried to go on a diet? Exercise program, some New Year's resolution. Okay, so when do diets start? Tomorrow, right? Monday, January 1st, right? In the morning. And when are they usually over? Lunchtime?
7 o'clock.
Right. And so it's like we have these New Year's resolutions and we have all of the good intentions and we really want to make a change. We know how to do it. But guess what? Knowing makes no difference. We have the neocortex. And the neocortex is where our intellect is present, where speech is present, academics, mathematics, analytics, all that lives in the neocortex. Okay? So right now, the neocortex is having a conversation with your neocortex. Our goals come from the neocortex. I want to lose weight. I want to start a business. I need to find a job. I need to make more money. And so the neocortex is trying to explain something about a spiritual or, like a romantic experience. There's always going to be a disconnect. And so when you often hear people say, it's like, I can't even explain it to you. I can't even find the right words, because we're having two different parts of the brain trying to reconcile something. So that's part one, the neocortex. Then we have a second part of our brain. It's called the limbic system. The limbic system is all about emotionality. It's right below the consciousness. So we consider that to be subconscious. Okay, the limbic system it regulates our temperature. It's where we have all the feelings. It's where our spiritual experiences are. So now comes the third part of the brain, which is what we call reptilian brain. The reptilian brain, it's just what you think, reptiles. It's all about survival. And so we have this part of our brain that's interested in having us survive. And so if you look at some of the conflicts that we're dealing with, whether they're on a smaller or bigger scale, it's really difficult because people's reptilian system are getting triggered over and over and over and over again. And so now we're trying to talk about those conflicts, and you see why the conversation is not really getting us anywhere, because I'm being triggered. Okay, I might trust you. You say I can trust you, but if you're triggering me and I'm not trusting you, I'm not going to trust you. And so we think in 2009, our survival instincts are no longer important because we're like living in high tech and there's Wii and there's Xbox and we have computers. Well, guess what? We're still at the same level, emotionally like the cavemen. So there's a big disconnect. So let's say you have a goal with the neocortex. I want to make more money. I want to be successful. Great. The limbic system is not in line with that. Strike one. The reptilian system is not in line with that. Strike two. Okay, and then let's say you have some attitudinal problem. Strike three. So where are you going to be with your goal? You're not going to be successful. About 20 years ago or so, a lady named Candace Pert, she's very important, she wrote a book called The Molecule of Emotion. And she did some research. She was a brain section chief for the NIH. And she actually found out that all the emotions that we have in our body, they're all biochemical. If I feel joy, it's biochemical. When I'm upset, it's biochemical. So it's not really about this sort of romantic notions that we have about emotions, it's all biochemical. And not only that, she also found out that we repeat the patterns. We're very much like Pavlov and the dogs. The bell rings, and we have a particular set of emotion that comes up. So about 50 years ago, another chiropractor named George Goodhart brought muscle testing back from China. They've been doing this for about 2,000 years. And what is muscle testing? You know, muscle testing is also known as applied kinesiology. And basically it's simply the premise that when we are in line or congruent with something, our body, our muscle will perform stronger than when we're not in line with something. We use the meridians, our energy system, in order to find out what emotionality is present, you know, when we want to move ourselves forward. And they did a beautiful job for us. They have coordinated or aligned particular meridians with particular emotions. And you know, the stomach is self-esteem, and we can relate to that. So when we don't feel good, we don't feel so good about ourselves. So like, yeah, you know, I can relate to that. The sex meridian, all about vulnerability and feeling lost. In the breathing technique, I'm going to have her meridians, the ones that were weak or activated, connected. Okay, and I'm also going to have her take her hand, the free hand, and I'm going to have her put it on her forehead. Okay, why is that? We have these points up here, they're called neurovascular points, and they deal with our emotions, and usually we rub them when we want to feel better. I love the breathing technique because it's like you're doing it on your own. It's like I'm not even involved. It's like you are in charge of the process. Take your finger, put it right here, take your hand on your forehead, and if you want, you can put your elbows on your knees. And to that, I want you to just take some deep breath. Just let yourself be with that. And then when you find that there's shift in your emotionality and there's lightness or maybe some other emotions come in first, you know, whenever you're ready and you feel like you're complete with that process, let us know, and then sit back up. So often, and you will be able to see in a moment, it's like when we have NET done to ourselves, we can't really see, but the physiology, when you look in her face, you can actually see that, you know, something happened.
I'm okay with people being responsible for themselves.
Well, there's no contest, right?
I'm okay with people taking responsibility for their own lives.
Okay, good. So she's strong on that. It's, by the way, a lot of, you know, those kind of essential things. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be afraid. That has us choose jobs, careers, start a business, not start a business, you know, fulfilling our dream, not fulfilling our dream. You know, choose a partner, choose the wrong partner. Those, you know, sort of fundamental things that have us make decisions that are not necessarily in line with who we are and how we want to express ourselves. So let's give Anne a hand. Fabulous. High five.